Hey guys, it's your girl, it's Ethiopian, and I'm back with something different. I'm actually going to be doing a little Bible interpretation of Luke 15. I read this the other day and I felt led to share my interpretations. So if you would like, continue watching at my handle at it's Ethiopian on Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter. At me on Snapchat, Camille Jael. Okay, let's dive into it. I am actually reading the Life Application Bible for Students. I actually really like this Bible. It's kind of falling apart. I got it in high school, but I'm able to go through and mark in it. I have another Bible that is like kind of just keep away. But yes, I am coming from Luke 15. I was reading it the other morning and I was just like, wow, this is really good. So I was like, let me go on camera and share.
Now there she goes again, the dopest Ethiopian. And now the world around me begins moving in slow motion when every...
Okay, let's get started. Basically in this chapter, Jesus is talking about the lost sheep. And it's supposed to be symbolizing when people come who have not yet accepted Christ, who have come in, and how God just rejoices for that. And I feel like that is very important and need to be communicated from the church. And at the beginning of the chapter, it talks about how like tax collectors will often come to listen to Jesus' sermons, and other religious people would give him backlash. Like, why are you eating with people who are seen as dirty or less than, or just not whatever what society would deem as worthy for the Messiah to be talking to and associating with? And they even like backlash him for even eating with them. So, and the first few verses, he uses the illustration of a sheep and a shepherd. If a shepherd if he has 99 sheep, he loses one, it says, wouldn't he go out, look high and low for this one lost sheep? And then when he finds him, he will rejoice with all his friends and family, saying, I found my lost sheep. And he's saying that this is what heaven does with God. When he sees that one person come to him, he rejoices with the angels and all of heaven, and they're just super excited because that one sheep was found. So I'm like, okay, that's a little bit older, but in verse 8, it talks about a woman with silver coins, and this one was a little bit more relatable to me even. I'm just going to start reading and go through. It says, or take another illustration. A woman has 10 valuable silver coins and loses one. And I read in another Bible that each one of the coins was like a day's wages. That's just to keep in mind. Won't she light a lamp and look under every corner of the house and sweep under every nook and cranny until she finds it? And then won't she call her friends and neighbors to rejoice with her? In the same way, there is joy in the presence of angels of God when one sinner repents. Basically, with those just couple verses, yesterday or the other day, I started my new job and I'm not allowed to wear my nose ring. So I took my nose ring off for the first time and I just stuck it in my wallet. So I'll complete my shift, get off work, I just like pay a meter, and I took out my wallet, pay a meter, forgetting that my nose ring was in there. And I go to my car and I was like, oh my God, my nose ring. I look inside my wallet, it's not in there. I dumped everything out, like pulled out all my cards, searched everywhere, all throughout my car, my pockets, everything for this gold ring. It's real gold, so I'm just like, I work too hard, just be losing gold rings. And all because I just stuck it in my wallet trying to hurry up and get ready for my first day of work. And I called my friend. I literally called like 3 people. Like, I lost my nose ring. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't believe I lost it. Like, I really love my nose ring. Like, it's cute, if I don't say so myself. But I was like really mad. And then it just so happened that the next day I read this verse, but I go home and I'm literally praying like, God, I lost my nose ring. I can't believe I lost it. So I go home and I'm unpacking, and I found my nose ring inside my purse. Apparently it had fallen out of my wallet and into my purse. And I'm like, yes, thank God. And I called all those people back, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I found my nose ring. I'm popping now. Like, I'm cute, whatever. And then the next morning I ended up reading this verse, and it just reminded me how that previous night I was just tripping over my nose ring. Like, I was really like high-key heartbroken. So I feel where this woman is coming from, where she is searching through every nook and searching every corner of her house for her silver coin. And I'm just like, okay, I see you, Lord. I see you. Okay, and then we're gonna go to verse 11. To further illustrate the point, he told them this story. A man has 2 sons. When the younger told his father, I want to share your estate now, instead of waiting until you die. His father agreed and divided his wealth between his 2 sons. A few days later, this younger son packed all his belongings and took a trip to a distant land. And there he wasted all his money on prostitute and parties. About this time, his money was gone. A great famine swept over the land. He began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him to feed his pigs. The boy became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the swine looked good to him, and no one gave him anything. So think about this rich guy going out. He asked his father, like, I want all your stuff. I want my share of your things, and I want it now. And he goes and he wastes it all on parties and prostitutes. And then in that time, a famine comes, and he's left with nothing. He has no money. He has no source of income. He has no food, and he's even attracted to what pigs are eating and thinking like, this could be satisfying me. Oh my God. That's crazy. So it shows his desperation. When finally he came to his senses, verse 17, he said to himself, at home, even the hired men have food enough to spare. Why am I here? And I'm here dying of hunger. I will go home to my father and say, Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you. I am no longer worthy called to be your son. Please take me as a hired man. Wow. So he returned home to his father, and while he was in a long distance away, his father saw him coming, and filled with loving and pity, and ran and embraced to kiss him. Okay, going back to that other verse, he's just thinking like, oh, I'm so desperate that since I've sinned against my father, I'm going to come to him not as a son, but as a servant, as a slave. Because even the hired men, the men that my father has hired, they get to be fed. So since I've done all these bad things, and I'm not worthy enough to be called a son, I should be called a slave or a hired man or anything, just to get me out of this desperate situation. And that reminds me of, is it John 15:15? Let me pull that up. Yes, it is John 15:15. I no longer call you servants, because servants does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my father, I have made known unto you. So I'm like, this really connects to where he is greeted by his father with a kiss and not a backlash. And that was in verse 20. And then verse 21, his son said to him, Father, I have sinned against you in heaven, and I am not worthy of being called your son. But his father said to the slaves, quick, bring the finest robe in the house and put it on him, a jeweled ring for his finger and his shoes. and kill a calf that we have fat in the fattening pen. We must celebrate a feast. For this son of mine was dead and has returned to life. He was lost and now found. So the party must begin. So that is just John 15:15. I'm just lost for words, like how much shame this son was carrying, and to be greeted with so much love is just amazing. And it's illustrating the Father's love for us. And especially in the verse where it says, and kill a calf we have in the fattening pen, we must celebrate a feast. So that shows when we come to God, God has something particular for us, set out for us. This was a calf that was specifically made for fattening. So it was like the prize that they have for a specific purpose. So it just reminds me, when we come to God, God has a specific purpose and something in store for you. And they celebrate with a feast. So of course God is celebrating for us when we come to him. Meanwhile, so verse 25, meanwhile, the older son was in the field working. When he returned home, he heard dance music coming from the house. He asked one of his servants, what is going on? Your brother is back, he was told, and your father has killed a calf we were fattening and prepared a great feast to celebrate his coming home again and again unharmed. The older brother was angry and wouldn't go into it. His father came out and begged him. He replied, all these years I worked hard for you and never once refused to do a single thing you told me to do. In all that time, you never gave me even a goat for a feast with my friends. Yet when this son of yours comes back after spending your money on prostitutes, and you celebrate by killing the finest calf we have on the place. So like these next few verses, it just reminds me of some of the backlash that we get or give off from the church. You know, some of us can become envious and jealous of, we see someone coming into the church and all of a sudden they're prospering in God because they have that desperation for the Father's love. They have that desperation for the Father's touch, and they're seeking God. And some of us just get all, you know, like, well, God, I've been serving you for the past 5-10 years and I'm not prospering. And right there, I mean, I've witnessed it. I'm pretty sure we've all witnessed it. And we have to really be careful about that. We have to really be careful about checking our own hearts when it comes to watching our brothers and sisters. We should never become envious of them because we don't know what they've been through. And the fact that they're coming to God right now, we should all celebrate. So that's just something that really stuck out to me, that brothers and sisters could have this envious eye of someone coming to God. Like, we should never pray to never be in that place. And then the last couple verses. Look, dear son, his father said to him, you and I are very close, and everything that I have is yours. But it is right to celebrate, for he is your brother, and he was dead, he has come to life. He was lost, and now is found. So, I don't know. I just thought Luke 15 was very beautiful. I'm getting low-key teary-eyed right now just reading about, you know, the love that God has for us, and these lost sheep, or this lost coin, or this lost son or daughter. And then when we finally come, you know, some of us, we think we do all these things. Even myself, think, oh my God, I was such an evil person. I was such a bad person. I did this, I did that. God doesn't want me. He doesn't want to use me for what? And then to be in that desperate place where the food of pigs looks appealing and that's all you want. And you come to God and saying, God, just give me the bare minimum. And he greets you with a robe. He greets you with a feast. He greets you with the finest cattle that he has in place for fattening. He gives you that. So I don't know. I I just felt led to share this message, to share this interpretation. This is amazing. God is calling everyone. He wants everyone to come out. There's been a couple times where I, felt I sympathized with some of these scripture, or I related to some of these scriptures where I'm hanging out and I'm getting judgment from like the church or whomever who thinks they're all high and mighty, when I'm hanging out with the tax collectors and the, what else did they say? And other notorious sinners. You can interpret that the way you please. And in some areas, it just, saddens me when I see some of the church trying to give off this facade of this perfect married woman of 5, blogger, Instagram fashionista, natural hair guru, expert. Like, we don't have to be all that. We don't have to give up a facade and then envy everyone else who are doing some of those things. We should be building each other up. These are our brothers and sisters. I just pray that we're known for our love that our Father has demonstrated in Luke 15 throughout the entire Bible. So I think that's all I have for now. Let me know if you guys like this type of thing. I might get on camera every once in a while and share what I'm reading that day or that week or whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe this video. Again, this is something different, but I hope you guys enjoyed it for the 3rd time. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.